Hey, hey, American Crochet Association, Selena Baca here, founder, host, lead educator with the ACA. It's Monday, and I've got a lot to mingle about today. So if you are joining live, come on over, say hey, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on the replay, it's just the same great jam. Just pretend like you're following along live. I promise it's still going to be fun. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback about anything that I'm chatting about today or about the American Crochet Association in general, feel free to go ahead and post them. I will get to them as soon as I see them, okay? I do have a fun giveaway that we're extending from last week. So if you guys watched Mingle Monday last week, you'll get more details. I'm going to chat a little bit more about it today, but just know that we have got a brand new skill building workshop that we're going to be giving away. And I'm going to give you more details to enter that at the end of this video. So you got to hang around to get those details, all right? I am going to be giving some shout outs in just a little bit too. So if you guys just want to, again, as soon as you join, hey, hello, how's it going? Anything like that, go ahead and post it and I will give everybody a shout out in just a little bit. All right, guys. So first thing that I like to start with is what's new, hip, and happening in the crochet membership. All the links and details to everything that I'm talking about is going to be in the video description. So after you watch this live, you guys can click on over and view everything in order. So when you are at the American Crochet Association, all you guys have to do is log in. Let me see if I can do that. Let's see. Hold on. I got a lot of clicking to do because I'm an admin, so it looks different for me. So I'm going to go on over to my courses, my membership. But this particular, so really I just want you guys to see what it looks like. I am viewing from a desktop. If you're viewing from any other device, or you guys can download our app, you guys can still see all of your membership details or all the courses, any courses that you might have signed up for at the American Crochet Association. Again, I like to view things from a desktop, especially from a tutorial perspective, and that way you guys can just see everything. So if you're viewing from something smaller, this menu up here will just be 3 lines instead. So just click that and then you'll see all of these options right here. So, man, that was a long story. I took you guys on a journey there. Really, for the crochet membership this month and for the entire month, you guys are seeing the Crochet Skill Building Workshop first. So only crochet members are seeing that version right now. It's a pretty lengthy workshop. Only a few of you guys have finished it in its entirety so far. It's hefty. And so really, I just wanted to let everybody know that it is here, it is up, it is ready, and I've got all of the materials, the outline, the videos, the cheat sheets, the homework, the quizzes. I've got all that information up and ready for you guys to view. So as you're going through this, if you choose, again, this is just kind of a freebie this month for you guys. So this isn't even available for purchase yet. You guys are seeing it first. And that way, if there's any feedback, if anything's spelled wrong, if something needs to be reformatted, you guys can go ahead and let me know and I'll get that updated. I do want to say that I love all of the homework you guys have been posting. Some of you guys are going right along with the homework and posting in our community. And we're going to take a look at that hashtag in just a minute, because hashtags are, I know they seem like that's what the young people are doing, right? Like, why am I doing the hashtag? But the reason I love hashtags is that when you use them, when you use the ones that we post, it's a really nice way for everything in that hashtag to be categorized into one spot. And I love community. I love community spaces like our Facebook group because it allows everyone to have a voice in a conversation and to share things. And so when you use that hashtag, not only can our community see, but we can click on that hashtag and we can see everything within that same category. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying it. All of the lessons are posted. And hopefully you guys dig it. Again, I see you guys are going through them. I see you guys are completing the quizzes and the homework, and a few of you even earned your certificate of completion. Once you go through all of the lessons, this will magically appear. You can see I got mine right here, but this is something that you can print, you can save, you can download, and it's something that just kind of shows that you have completed this course. So that's kind of a cool thing. So as you guys also get your certificate of completion for this course or for any course, go ahead and feel free to share that in our community, because that's just one more thing that we'd love to see. All right. Okay, speaking of our community, let's click on over there. There are tons of things that I want to share with you guys. Link to this is down below. That's whether or not you've joined. It is free for everyone. Everyone who crochets. There's a couple rules, but you guys can read those when you get there. We don't allow spamming and things like that. We don't allow any kind of sales post or external links. But outside of that, we want to see what you're doing. We want to hear what you're thinking. So a few things to look for. Let's see. We typically have, okay, I have them pinned up here in the featured. So whenever you join, whatever's in the featured section, that's kind of what's new, hip, and happening. So you guys can see that. I've got some questions here. And I do want to give a shout out to Jerry Sue Tinker. She is one individual that I'm so proud of. She's one of our crochet members. And she's going through that skill building homework, and see, she even posted the hashtag. So again, when you click on that, look at that. Jerry Sue Tinker going through all the homework, and people just posting their questions and their feedback and things like that. So it's a lot of fun, not only to participate in, but to see what other people are doing. So again, that's what that hashtag's all about. It's just it's a cool way to categorize things. Let's see. One more thing that I wanted to share. Let's see. Let me find it. Here it is. So I did have a cool announcement, and I did want to thank everybody who's part of our community. We just yesterday hit 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which I just kind of by accident saw that yesterday. I thought it was really cool when I was planning for today. So 20,000 of you guys hit that subscribe button, and you watch our videos, and you follow along every week and make this a fun community. So thank you guys. It's so cool to see that so many of you are just enjoying what we're doing at the American Crochet Association. So I just wanted to thank you all for that cool milestone that we're all doing together. So thanks guys, 20,000. Woohoo! All right, guys, so that's our community. Click on over, follow along, ask questions, give feedback, all that kind of stuff, okay? All right, so I do have a new article for you, and I wanted to quickly run through it because it's one that I've been working on for a while. It's one that you guys voted for in our community. So again, one more thing that you guys can do in the crochet community whenever you join. Where to place stitches in crochet. So I just posted this yesterday. Just hit that publish button yesterday. So if you haven't read it, come on over and give it a read and let me know what you think. Now, I actually, in writing this article, I combined a few other topics that I've talked about in the past, and I thought this is just one great article to talk about stitch anatomy and where to place stitches. Now, I've been publishing crochet patterns independently for about 10 years, and every now and then I get questions about where stitches are placed, and specifically, hey, wait a minute, where do I work whenever there's a chain? Do I skip the chains aren't really stitches? Do I skip that? Do I work into it? Do I work over it? So this article talks a lot about stitches, but it also talks about what counts as a stitch and what doesn't count as a stitch. So it really kind of overlaps with some other topics that we have here on the site, because they all kind of point to the same thing, right? So this is kind of a lengthy article. Like when I was typing it up on Pages, I think it was like a 7-page article, and I was like, all right, hopefully that's not too much. Hopefully that's just enough information. So it doesn't matter if you've been crocheting for 100 years or you just started. This article really is for everyone. So again, after this live, maybe click on over, give it a read, and let me know what you think. I would absolutely love to hear if you guys think that there were some tidbits in here that were helpful. So if you're ever wondering what counts as a crochet stitch, what part of the stitch do you crochet into, where do I put my crochet hook? If you've ever questioned those things, this article is for you. So again, I talk a lot about what counts as a crochet stitch, and then I give hopefully they're helpful. I give pictures like this just to show these are stitches. Let's talk about stitch anatomy. Chains are stitches too. Don't skip out on those. So in this article, there's really just a few places that we universally work into. Are there variations? Yeah. Are there differences? Are there combinations? Absolutely. That's the wonderful thing about crochet. So this is not the be all end all. However, whenever you're looking at a specialty stitch, or whenever you see a different kind of stitch placement, these are the places that you can possibly work. So are you going to be combining things or altering things? Potentially, depending on whatever pattern that you're following. But at the very least, you're going to have a good understanding for when you're looking at the face of a stitch. If you want to work around the back post, if you want to work around a front post, if something is telling you to work into the back loop or the front loop, here's a really good diagram for what each one of those places mean and what it looks like with a tall stitch, so you can really get an understanding for that. Now, not everything looks the same and not everything is exactly the same from the front of your crochet work and the back of your crochet work. So there's also some detailed information about what this means from the back of your work. Now, some things are universal, like you're going to do the same thing for a back post as you are for a front post. It doesn't matter if you're facing or not facing, those actions are going to be the same, where you're going to place that hook so that you can crochet something into the back post and you can crochet something into the front post. A big difference between working into the front side of your work and working into the back side of your work is, well, there's a few things that are kind of different, and that I wanted to take a moment to really spell those out here. So the first thing is the third loop. Now, you might, some people call this something slightly different in crochet. I've seen a few other names, but really I think the best name to really differentiate this particular spot is third loop. And the reason I say that is because we still have a back loop and a front loop for any stitch. However, it doesn't change. It's exactly the same. So whenever you're looking from the front and the back, and that confuses some people sometimes, which is another reason I wrote this article. So when you're looking at the front of a stitch, you've got, and you look at the top of your stitch, it always looks like the chain. You've got those little hearts or those little, kind of V shapes on top of the stitch, which is right up here. Really, we can only see the front loop. Whatever is facing you is always going to be the front loop, and whichever is farthest from you is always going to be the back loop, which may be confusing because whenever you're working these stitches, you may think that the front loop is always facing you. So when you flip it, that front loop is now on the back side. Not true. Whatever side of the stitch you are looking at, the one closest to you is now the front loop, no matter what. The one farthest from you is now the back loop. So if you switch it, the same rule applies. Whichever loop is closest to you is front, whichever is farthest from you is the back. And that is a really key defining feature in the anatomy of these stitches, because if you're working something in the back loop only, always, that means that you're creating texture that's maybe only going to be on one side. So if you don't understand the difference between the back loop and the front loop, whichever side of the row or round you're working on, you're going to miss out on that texture. Okay, so back loop, front loop, third loop. So I do have some additional information on this, but what I wanted to mention about the third loop specifically is that this third loop bar, it's horizontally just underneath the front loop, and it's only on the back or the wrong side of a stitch. So you're not ever going to see this on the front or facing side of the stitch. Here we see there is no third loop or bar here. So that third loop, that third bar, is only going to be on the wrong side of a stitch. Further, it's only going to be on the wrong side of a tall stitch. So you're only going to see it on half double, double, triple, something like that, because those taller stitches are actually what's giving you that extra fabric, that extra piece of yarn that's creating that third loop. So it's a really interesting place to work in crochet, because whenever you place your hook into that third loop and you're working your stitches and your fabric into that, what that's doing is it's leaving your back and your front loop completely exposed, unworked, and it's going to push it to the back a little bit. And that way, all of those front loops and back loops are going to be on one side. So it's not going to show on one side. It's going to only show on the other side. And it kind of creates this ribbing or this kind of knit look that looks really cool. So anyway, here are some fundamental places to place your hook. Here's some fundamental terminology that's going to be fairly universal. I think the only thing that you may see different terms for are going to be the third loop. And again, some people kind of confuse third loop with back loop, but those are two completely different spaces and places. And so really understanding that when you place your hook into one as opposed to the other, you're going to get a really different kind of fabric. So that's why this is so important to pay attention to. I also ended this article with a fun little quiz for you. So if you think you know all about counting stitches, I put together a really complex piece of instruction and I said, what do you think the final stitch count is based on that? And I even put together a little picture here for you. So if you guys want to at least, especially you experts out there, I'd love this. Look at that. Don't look at the bottom. The answer is at the bottom. So only pause after the picture. Take a peek at that and then come on over here and tell me what your guess is in terms of what the final stitch count is. Bonus points, super extra expert status if you put not only the final stitch count, but how many of each stitch are used in that final stitch count. For example, how many doubles, how many chains, how many singles. So extra shout out. I will give you so many kudos if you guys do that. Again, don't cheat, don't look, okay? All right, so that's a fun little thing for you guys. All right, so again, this article can be found on our site, and you guys can click below to read that article and find it where to place stitches in crochet. Okay, so I do have a new free pattern for you guys. I just posted it last week. You guys voted for it a long time ago. It took me a little while to get it up and running, but I do have that ready for you. I just posted it, I think, over the weekend, and you guys can find the links to view for free the ruffled shell crochet cowl on our site. If you guys would rather own a PDF, there are links to do so. And you guys can find it on Ravelry and download a copy there. The PDF is not free. Only the instructions on our site are available to view for free. Now, the ruffled shell cowl is a really fun pattern in so many different ways. So let me just pause on the picture here just so you guys can see. Yeah, so it's even for adults as well. I wrote this in a few different sizes, and it's a great stash buster. It's super quick. It creates this really fun piece that, you know, has buttons so you can style it in a few different ways. It's for lots of different age groups, so a child all the way up to an adult. And it has here you go. It has a little diagram here. So if you are still looking to kind of understand written patterns, if you like to have these universal charts to go with your work, this has one. So you guys can definitely check that out. Now, what I love about this is that this particular cowl is worked in just a general shell stitch. It's worked in really short rows. So what you're doing is you're chaining, so, you know, only so many. It's really super short. And then the length of this cowl is going to be created as you're adding rows to that piece. So really, this is just one long rectangle, and however long it is creates the size. So shorter is going to be for younger people or smaller necks. Taller is going to be for older people or larger necks, or just maybe a larger shape or style should you choose. You can really kind of play around with yarn weight here. It doesn't have to be exactly the yarn that I used in this pattern. So really, you can kind of go through your stash and whatever feels comfortable on your neck. It's not itchy, it's not scratchy. You know, feel free to use a yarn that's comfortable for you, because again, it's going to be around your neck. So if it's comfortable around your skin and your neck, feel free to use it. It's a really easy pattern to improvise. I do have the stitch multiple here, so you can really take this stitch and, you know, kind of alter it around if you're using a completely different yarn that's going to size differently. Now, I think one of the most fun features about this pattern is that it has a ruffled border. Now, I'm kind of nerdy in that I get super excited about this ruffled border because I wrote this pattern initially about 10 years ago. It's an oldie but a goodie, and I revamped it just to share on our site. But about 10 years ago, I was so interested in the ruffle, that ruffle texture, that ruffle pattern. I thought, man, how do you create that? And I thought it was like complicated math or something like that, but really it's so simplistic. So you can try it on this ruffled shell cowl, but I think that maybe you're nerdy like me. Once you learn it, you're like, man, this is a great border. I can put on so many different things. And really, I think it can be because it's so simplistic. It can universally be put anywhere. To create that ruffle, you're just placing more stitches into a particular space than is required. So when you do that, it's forcing the fabric to ruffle because there's not, there are too many stitches for the space. So for this particular pattern, while I just changed the stitch rate, I didn't change the stitch ratio. I changed the stitches for the ratio. So instead of 1 to 1, 1 stitch per 1 space creates flat, even fabric. I changed it up and I put 3 stitches into 1 space. So let's say there were 100 stitches around that border of the cowl because it's applied to the border. Instead of 100 stitches, which would create a nice even flat fabric, I put 300 stitches evenly spaced. So, or evenly distributed, I should say. So again, it's quick, it's easy. You can use your stash. You can make it in lots of different sizes so it can fit lots of different people. And it is just a long piece of rectangle, and it does have buttons on one side, and that's so that you can alter up and change how you wear it. So it's a pretty fun pattern. So as you guys check this out, let me know what you think. As you make it, you can post your project on Ravelry, or you can click this button to see all the other projects that have been posted to Ravelry. So you can see this worked up in different yarns, different colors, different sizes, just to kind of get some inspiration for what others have done with this. All right. Okay. Okay, guys, now I need your help. And this is where I just want you guys to comment and vote in on this. Okay. So I would love to hear what pattern you guys would like to see for free, to view for free on our site. And I'm going to be working on that at the end of this week. So if you guys are commenting in the next couple days from the date this video is posted, then your feedback's going to be counted. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback about any of these patterns, let me know. Links to all of them are in the video description. And that way, if you guys are like, I just can't wait, or I need more information, you guys can get it, okay? So first pattern that I'm considering putting here is the granny square pillow cover. And what I love about this pattern is that really I created it as a teaching tool. I love the granny square. I love the granny stitch. And I really just wanted to incorporate a lot of different skills, how to work an intermediate level pattern, how to change color, you're using your stash yarn, you're actually working on joining techniques, you're working on sizing. So many different teaching tools are incorporated into this pattern, and that's why I love it so much. So again, it's kind of like a mini workshop. So this pattern is more than just making a pillow cover. You're learning so many different elements. You can use any yarn you want, any size yarn you want. And you're learning how to measure and kind of create something that's going to fit that particular size pillow that you have using any yarn that you want. So again, so many different teaching techniques in this. So that's first on the list, granny square pillow cover. If you guys want to see that next for free on our site, just say that in the comments. I vote for the granny square pillow cover, something along those lines. Next is the fast track basket. I love baskets. I love crocheting baskets. I think that they're really fun and they're so functional. And this particular basket can be made in so many different sizes. One of my favorite crochet people ever is Linda Woodthorpe, and she crocheted this basket in thread. So you can make this in so many different sizes, like thread, like Linda Woodthorpe did right here. I think she put coins in it or earrings or something. I mean, that's how fantastic she is. Or you can make it in big giant yarn like I did, a t-shirt, tape yarn, and make a big chunky basket if you want. I did write this pattern for a book that I published a couple years ago, Crochet in a Day. And I just thought if I did post these instructions, that are free to view, it'll just kind of help you see what else you can expect from the book and just kind of how it's formatted and what types of projects you can find there. So I thought this could be a fun one to post. So if you want to see this free on our site next, you can just say fast track baskets in the comments. All right, I've got 2 more left to show you. This one, I really need some feedback on this because I feel like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So I'd love to hear some voting on this. Okay, don't be shy. So this particular pattern, this Sagebrush skirt, is one that I wrote for Happily Hooked magazine back in 2016. And I love this skirt for so many reasons. One, it's worked top down. So it's really super simplistically started with just rows of crochet creating that band. And then after the band, you're working in joined rounds and you're just working down. So I wrote this with Lion Brand Cottonies, which is a worsted weight 4 yarn, which that's my wheelhouse. I love working in that weight because it works up kind of quick, but it's not so big and bulky that it's not going to make great things that you can wear. And so it's a really simplistic stitch pattern. It's really easy to follow, but I think there's like 5 or 7 rows of repeats or something like that. So you're really getting a lot of different, you're getting a lot of different pattern here. It's not just a small, quick 1 or 2 row repeat. It really is this fantastic pattern created here that was not too complicated and super easy to do. Now, I love wearing leggings. I wear leggings a lot. I wear tights a lot. So while this particular pattern does have some kind of see-through parts, those kind of holy parts, yeah, just wear something underneath it. You can wear this underneath leggings or tights or pants or something like that. And you can also make this skirt as long as you want. So I made mine kind of, high on my thigh. Yeah, maybe mid-thigh, maybe... Yeah, mid-thigh-ish. You can make this all the way down to your ankles if you want. You can make this super long. And you can make it to your knees. You can make it to your cat. So really the length is just, I'm just going to keep adding rows until it's the length that I want. So if you've never crocheted a skirt before and you're thinking, that's, I don't know if that's for me, this is a really quick and easy approach just to show you how a skirt is worked. What I like about this as well is that the fabric, I wanted some openness to the fabric. So if you're going, I don't know if I like that openness to the fabric, it can be the fabric can be, depending on how you want to wear it, it will, I don't want to say it'll stretch with your body. You can make it fitted. You can make it slightly oversized. But really the gaps in the fabric is going to make the fabric breathable. And that way it's going to, if you want it to be a little fitted and you want it to be tight fitting, it's going to stretch with you because of the gaps in the fabric. That kind of open work is going to work with you, not against you. If this was all solid, it wouldn't have as much give and it wouldn't have as much, I don't even want to say fluidity because really this isn't a flowy thing, but it's not a tight thing. So again, I think the fabric really lends to you having something that isn't going to be dense and stiff, but, it will kind of move with you, I should say. So anyway, I really loved this skirt. I haven't worn it in a little while, but I really loved this particular outfit. I think it's a way in my, I don't know, backtrack. I live in Oregon and we definitely have seasonal wardrobes. So I can't wear my summer things all the time. I can't wear my winter things all the time. So I have to kind of pack accordingly. And the reason I haven't worn this in a while is I'm not sure if I packed it away in my spring clothes or my fall clothes. So I got to go digging around for it. But anyway, I really wanted you to just see that I'm wearing a super simple outfit here. I'm just wearing a black shirt and some leggings. And I mean, I wear sandals all the time and then a scarf. And that to me was just super simple. It's something that, I love wearing. And hopefully if you crochet a skirt, you'll like wearing it too. If you guys want to see this on the site, if you guys want to view this and follow along, just let me know you like the Sagebrush skirt down in the comments. All right, last but not least, oh my goodness, the Jade Sun Hat. This is another pattern that I wrote in the days when I was with Happily Hooked magazine. This particular pattern was actually featured on the cover, so I was super excited about that. It's a sun hat. I made it with Lion Brand 24/7 cotton yarn. So one of my favorite cotton yarns to crochet things like this with. I love that it is a dense yarn and it has some nice weight to it. So as you're, and it's cotton, so it's a fantastic breathable fiber. What I love about this particular hat is that it has kind of a short cap, so it's pretty basic on the top, and then it has this wonderfully oversized kind of floppy, brim to it. And the Lion Brand 24/7 cotton yarn it has just enough weight to where it has this perfect amount of flop to it. So it's a really quick, easy, fun project to work up. And hopefully you guys dig it, right? Okay, so if you guys want to see this for free on the site next, just say Jade Sun Hat in the comments, okay? All right, guys, I think that is everything that I have for you guys today. So let me stop on something fun for you guys to look at it for a background. And let me see who's here and give some shout outs. And I'm here to answer any questions, see comments, feedback, anything like that, okay? The floor is open. First up is Delia Flores. Hello, Delia from California. She said she loves the ACA. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you here. Melissa is here. Hello, Melissa. So good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Chris Lopez is here. Hello, my friend. Good morning to you from California. Hopefully you've got some nice weather down there. Oh, she says congratulations on 20,000. I know, 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I happened to look and I was like, wow, we're almost there. I posted just kind of I made a comment in our Facebook community about it. And I think we had 19,981 yesterday morning. And so we just hit 20,000. So thank you guys so much. And I really appreciate it. It's good to see that. Just so you know, whenever you subscribe to us on YouTube, whenever you guys subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get alerts, you'll get updates, you'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a video. So that's definitely something that you can enjoy if you enjoy our comments. So, thank you so much, Chris Lopez. You're so kind. Roberta, hello, first time here. When here a few, but had to finish my duck wing first. Oh, that's you're living an exciting life, Roberta. Well, thank you for checking in. Let's see, Roberta, doesn't the pattern usually state if it wants you to place out of the norm? Great question. Okay, let's go back to that. Yes. So in crochet, and I mentioned this in the article, so I'm so glad that you're saying this. So in crochet, we kind of have this unspoken universal rule. If a pattern says single crochet into each stitch across, it is universally understood and recognized that when a pattern says single crochet, double crochet into each stitch across, if it doesn't specify that you're supposed to work that stitch into the front and the back loops on the top of the stitch or the row that you're working into. So that's the kind of unspoken universal rule, is that's how you work, right? So when I'm talking about where to place stitches, it is mentioning that, hey, there is this universal rule, but also specialty stitches are going to say things like back loop only, front loop only, third loop, around, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So yeah, it's going to mention those things. There are other things that it may mention as well, and they should be defined and specified in that specialty stitch and technique section. There are some things that are universally recognized, like for example, back loop. There is no alternate definition for back loop. There is no alternate definition or meaning for front loop. There is no alternate definition or meaning for the front of the post or the back of the post. So there's some things that are universally recognized that are specified here. And it is important to note that the wonderful thing in crochet is that there are so many different things that we can invent in terms of, maybe I want to do a triple crochet 2 together in the front posts. Well, we understand what a triple crochet is, we understand what a decrease is, and we understand what the front posts are. So even though this combination is different in some way, we understand all of those elements. So that's where placement comes into play here. Is that when we are kind of looking at this totally new and different and interesting combination of all these basic things, we all have a good understanding for what those basic things are. So yes, you are right, Roberta, and I hope that what I just said makes sense. Hello, Peg. Hi, and happy Monday to you. Thank you for joining. Linda Simpson, hello to you from the UK. So good to see you. Hello, Lady Crafters Fiber Creations, aka Mary. Hello to you from Massachusetts. Thank you for being here. Roberta, let me know if you have any questions, comments, feedback. I see that you made another comment, so just let me know what you think about my answer to you. All right, Chris Lopez is excited to see the fast track baskets. So that's the only vote that I have so far. So hopefully everybody watching will let me know what they think, or else we're just going to go with what Chris wants. And Chris wants the fast track baskets. All right, last comment that I see is from Angela. Hello, Angela. So good to see you here. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's Mingle Monday. It's just a fun way for me to give you the rundown of everything that's new, hip, and happening in the wide world of the American Crochet Association. And if you've been sticking around since the beginning because you are interested in that giveaway, just know that I'm going to be giving away 5 free passes to our brand new Crochet Skill Building Workshop this time next week. This is a 2-week long promotion. I started it last week, and your comments here count as well. Okay, so if you guys would like to win free access to this new workshop, which is a $49 workshop, it is not even out yet. All you have to do is say some version of, I want to win that Crochet Skill Building Workshop. I need to see Crochet Skill Building in your comment, and that counts as an entry. All the comments that have some version of Crochet Skill Building in there are going to be counted as entries, and I'm randomly going to pick 5 of you. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It is always a pleasure and a joy and a privilege to be part of the crochet community. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments. Keep this a fun community conversation. And if you guys did enjoy this and you want to share this in just one place, where you enjoy crochet, if you think they'll enjoy it as well, especially some of the content here, go on ahead and hit that share button, okay? Peace, love, crochet, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.